Hello everybody. I've had a few different things going on recently that made it difficult for me to record, so I think energy? Yeah, for the Southern Alps tour, and then I'll take a recovery point next level up. That seems like a good way to do it, but for now what we have is Cloud Peak Circle. Oh wait, I should scout first. Not great, not terrible. I think I will pick someone up from the 3 agents list instead of... No, I think we more realistically have to think about who we take if we're forced to downgrade the team, because can't quite remember how much the next funding level would give us. Let's put Salad in off on the list for now. And let's see how the Great Plains Tour goes. Smirnov takes it. Walter Stein, why are you here? Well, Adam Brandt is on a major peak. He may be able to race for the minor placings here, but definitely not going to get the top 2 spots. They're already locked up. Pretty straightforward prologue stage. You just ride to the base of the hill and then you ride over the top. Brandt's going to lose time on this stage, unfortunately, but Ward has a chance to do something. Not quite enough. It's not a very effectual stage for the GC, thankfully. We're only losing 0.12 of a turn with Brandt. There wasn't much need to comment on this stage until here. This is a first category climb. Pavlov is our main helper rider for this tour. Watson's just a little bit more suited to tours, so if I am going to be going after the red jersey again, I would like to do it with him. Seems like it's a little bit too early for the race to break apart yet, but that hasn't stopped some of the favourites from already positioning themselves at the front. Not to mention that there is a stage favourite leading the race right now. And that favourite is probably going to win the stage because it's Walter Stein. I mean, it's an odd decision for him to be taking the breakaway from stage 1, but he's got the legs to make it work, and we're just going to try and limit the time loss, because if there's any chance for him to capitalise on this venture later, I would like to keep it manageable. And I was going to reposition for the sprint, but the AI repositioned in a way that I think we're good for the sprint, actually. Brandt could maybe go behind Alexander. In fact, I will do that, but otherwise... looks like staying ahead of Alexander and having Watson provide an extra point of momentum would have been the better play there. And Ward can't actually get on the podium by sprinting, so we're just not going to sprint at all. This should make for an interesting GC battle now, because we've got Walter Stein, who took the breakaway, leading GC, but probably not having as much energy as he should for a rider of his status. Meanwhile, Ward's up in 4th, Brandt is in 10th, and he picked up that podium. This is going to be a much truer test of strength, however. That's taken me by surprise, because my plan was to take a flyer with Watson, but I didn't want to burn him up too quickly, but now Korolev has decided to take a flyer earlier. I'm going to wait until next turn to go on the attack. And actually Korolev slowed up and let the pack catch back up to him, so... Although I find it odd that he would slow down like that, considering that he could have at least taken the mountain points from that attack. And instead I'm going to get the points because I didn't want to end up behind Korolev on that first climb. Well, that would explain that. Korolev is not interested in the mountain jersey at all, otherwise he would have sprinted over the top of me, so Watson claims max points from the early part of this stage. And I don't think things are going to be explosive enough in the peloton for it to break apart yet. In fact, no one else has moved up. This could work out really well for us now. Walter Stein never got out of the peloton, in fact he's still in P2. He'll probably move up this turn, surely, but... we could just have Pavlov ride until he's done, at which point Watson will take over, crest this climb to take maximum points, and then whatever happens from there happens. And now Watson claims all of the points on offer, with Pavlov working as a backstop to ensure no one gets the idea of sprinting for that. Don't have the extra attack points in hand to be playing funny buggers, but Weiss crucially was not amongst the riders who reordered, so I have a feeling he's going to try something here. And indeed he did, so now we're going to have Ward and Brandt. I think now, with the finish line in sight, is the time to start playing that repositioning game and get behind Weiss and Harris in case there's a chance to attack. There may well be. Ward is going to continue trying to ride for his best. Oh, Weiss has gone first. So Harris actually repositioned back behind. Nah, I need to keep attack points for the GC, so I'm going to let Harris have that stage win. Stein keeps himself in the leader's jersey. He had a head start from the previous stage. Even though Watson intentionally lost time in the end, he's still almost in the top 10 regardless. And we have 2 riders in the top 5 still. I was about to move up to P1, but then I noticed that the rest of the field hadn't moved up yet. And trying to reposition behind them, I've instead gotten caught out by these 4 who are going to try and roll to the finish. So now Watson's going to have to work extra hard because I feel like this relay is going to fall apart, and well, I think we have to be in P1 as well, just in case there's an attack from behind. Because yeah, their Herman can definitely put time into the pack here, so our Herman's got to empty the tank. Everyone can follow it for now. We've got to set up Brandt to be able to make it to this node somehow, which means doing an inefficient move with Ward to make sure it happens. Definitely a case where I still would have wanted to have gone with the first move because they're all going to be fresher than us. We've had to really put ourselves in the red to catch up to this. But at least we are in the first group. Oh, and poor Herman Weiss. Never repositioned behind. Got attacked over. There is no cohesion in this group. Alexander Haas has decided to go. Walter Stein, you're the race leader. You are the strongest rider, so I got repositioned to the front of the queue. No, I'm going back to the back of the queue. And I think Walter Stein might have just moved too, so yeah, Stein shirked his responsibility on that last pull, led to force Popovich to take it when he definitely shouldn't be doing it, and now Herman Weiss is back with us. This time, however, Stein does get the message and decides to take the pull. And I consider taking a second place finish to be table scraps compared to what we could do in the GC, so I am not going to sprint for that. And thus, aside from the sprint jersey, all of the top 3 classifications remained unchanged. Ward slips down to 9th because I had him drop back to the peloton, though I did have Watson go as fast as he could to limit the time loss so that he could stay in the top 10. Actually, there's still a bit of an AI flaw because riders who really should be thinking about GC will often go into the relay for no good reason so far out from the finish, setting up for a sprint that they don't have to yet. So I know it's weird for me to cut out the entire last climb, but it was a nothing burger. The peloton stayed intact, the pace wasn't even that high, so I think it's going to be more interesting to focus on the sprint, which, if we want to try and win it, we need to be in P0. Yes, that's correct, P0. I, for a moment, confused myself because it has been a while since I recorded the last episode. One of the things that happened was me being an absolute klutz and breaking my old microphone, hence why I sound a bit different now. I got a replacement. What happened was I tripped over the cord as I was going out to get something, and it completely yanked the wires out of whack. Looks like I messed this one up. I can still do the momentum blocking to make sure no one else gets ahead, GC wise. But in terms of actually winning the stage, I think the Alexander's about to take it from us. Because what I thought was going to be a massive lead out turned out to only be one rider ahead of us. At least we get the 2-3. And in any case, what was more important is that both our riders were protected in GC and are in tip-top shape for this last stage. Ward could make his way all the way back up to 6th, I think, if we play this correctly, but Brandt is the #1 priority. The peloton was not going to be able to follow if I sent Watson up the road, and I want Watson to be in this pack so that if this happens, we can claw it back. I'm taking a calculated risk, however, that these aren't actually our main threats, so we can let them go. Speaking of calculations, I also knew that Walter Stein didn't pick up any points from the mountains in this one, so this final second category, there's not enough points on the table. Watson is the mountain jersey winner without having to do anything on this stage. Now for a mountaintop finish like this, it's just a matter of figuring out who's got the biggest move and marking that, and it's going to have to be Walter Stein, surely. Although I just realised that this mountain 12% means that we're not even going to be able to follow Weiss's move if he really goes. So let's just hang back and follow the biggest move we can with Brandt rather than try and win this stage. So now instead we're racing for second because Walter Stein didn't manage to get away from us. And I think he's still going to be able to pants Parker, which means we have to be directly behind him if we want to try and win this sprint, though. Yep, it's going to take a max move just to hold Stein's wheel. Good news is we do gain time on some of the other riders. This final climb definitely suited Weiss. There's a chance he might beat us in GC. I think he was only 0.2 of a turn down. And that would be unfortunate if he has, which... yeah, he's managed to jump Harris even. Oh, that's put us down into 4th. So close and yet so far. Feels like I've already got every discipline I want on my team. Ronald Price, is he any good? I don't know. He's probably not going to make our team, but we had to put someone on the shortlist. Anyway, we're doing one more month because it'll just be a quick race for us this the coming month. They're the opposite of a quick race, however. You saw that, right? Walter Stein was about to win the Tour of Gazmir. You would back him all the way, but this stage profile, Smirnov liked it better, and he managed to take 2 turns on a pack that Stein got dropped from. Good opportunity for ourselves and every team that's here really to cheese their way into some easy points. Only 19 competitors and the top 10 get points, and it's a mixed league event. It's going to be super fast. There is absolutely no thinking involved. Just got to see who's got the most pace. And out of our riders, it is Ward and Pavlov, but that will only get us 5th and 6th. Like technically we're tied for 3rd here. So you're at the mercy of when you're permitted to leave your blocks, and the first rider in the starting order gets preference if there's a tie. Meaning what could have been a 3rd, 4th and 10th is instead merely a 5th and 6th. So definitely an anticlimax to finish the episode on, but that's just how the schedule broke down for us. We are going to need to split the episode here so I can fit the Southern Alps and Monte Perona in.